It's May 14th, 2005, and a huge aircraft carrier slips beneath the waves of the North Atlantic, all the way down to the ocean floor, at a depth of 2,810 fathoms, or 16,860 feet. The photo depicted here shows waves breaking its bow as it slowly starts to slip underwater. It's the only photo of a U.S. Navy supercarrier being sunk. The location of the wreck, at 33 degrees 9 minutes 9 seconds north latitude and 71 degrees 39 minutes 7 seconds west longitude, was a closely guarded secret until a Freedom of Information Act request in 2006. The sinking, or in maritime terms the scuttling, of the U.S.S. America was a deliberate act by the U.S. Navy. But why was this Kitty Hawk-class carrier scuttled on purpose by the Navy? The U.S.S. America had ended its active service life in 1996, after 31 years in operation. The project was for it to be used as a destructive test platform, so the Navy could gain new insights into how an aircraft carrier would bear different forms of sustained attack. The lessons from the barrage on the U.S.S. America would then be applied directly to the Nimitz-class successor supercarrier program. The Vice Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral John Nathman, explained the Navy's reasoning for the project in 2005 by stating, quote, "America will make one final and vital contribution to our national defense. This time as a live fire test and evaluation platform. America's legacy will serve as a footprint in the design of future carriers, ships that will protect the sons, daughters, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren of American veterans." This type of operation, known as SyncX, commenced on April 19, 2005, when the carrier was towed hundreds of miles off the Virginia coast. Soon after, the onslaught began. The carrier was pummeled by explosions both above and below the waterline. This went on for nearly 4 weeks before being scuttled. It was later revealed by a Navy source that the carrier's hangar bay was also packed with ex-Ohio Air National Guard A-7D tactical air support aircraft. One of the goals of the operation was to assess how aircraft reacted to direct hits and explosions inside the ship's hangar bay. There was opposition to what happened to the carrier. The idea that a ship named U.S.S. America would be sunk on purpose angered many, including veterans who had served aboard her. The ship had taken part in the Vietnam and Persian Gulf Wars, and in combat operations over Libya, and tens of thousands of sailors had called the vessel home during their tours. The photo does show something quite remarkable. Even though the carrier's bow is already well below the waterline, with waves rushing halfway up the middle of the ship, the colossal ship looks intact. The wreck reportedly now lies upright in one single piece. The entire SyncX drill on the U.S.S. America remains classified, as do any other official pictures or video of the operation. The photo suggests to maritime demolition experts that the ship's deck was bowed downward around the landing area, and that large holes had been punctured in the deck around the forward catapults. It's also presumed the ship's hull had massive fissures in it, and that the hangar deck was obliterated before the carrier was ready to be scuttled. It's believed the exercise helped inform the design of the U.S.S. Gerald R. Ford and its successors, as well as the second Ford-class supercarrier, the U.S.S. John F. Kennedy, and the third carrier in the class, the U.S.S. Enterprise. No shock trials ordinarily used for aircraft carriers before they are built come close to the sheer scale and destructive bombardment of the SyncX assault used against the U.S.S. America. Hence the reason why a similar SyncX assault is not projected in the foreseeable future. Furthermore, America's new era nuclear-powered aircraft carriers are far more challenging and expensive to dispose of as compared to conventionally powered predecessors such as the U.S.S. America. For example, it's estimated that scrapping the U.S.S. Enterprise would take a decade and a half and cost at least $1.5 billion. The structural integrity and toughness of aircraft carriers are vitally important to the U.S. Navy. Of note was when America's military establishment was rocked with a bold statement made by Rear Admiral Liu Yuan of China in a speech at the Military Industry List Summit on December 20th, 2018. Yuan told the audience that Beijing could resolve China's territorial disputes with Washington over its claims in the South China Sea by simply sinking 2 U.S. Navy aircraft carriers. Yuan pointed out that sinking just 2 carriers could kill up to 10,000 American sailors. The Chinese threat is not an empty one. It's well known that their military has developed and deployed an array of weaponry that can specifically target America's huge aircraft carriers. The 2005 assault on the U.S.S. America certainly proved that sinking a supercarrier is far easier said than done. After all, no carrier sails without an air wing with as many as 50 fighter aircraft, not to mention several escorting destroyers, cruisers, and submarines. Every carrier has a virtual wall of defensive weaponry surrounding it, at a distance covering several hundred miles in every direction. Various American carriers have endured attack and fires over the years, but the last time a U.S. Navy aircraft sank in combat due to enemy attack was during World War II. 12 American carriers sank during that war, mostly in the Pacific. The last carrier to sink was the U.S.S. Bismarck C, in February 1945, after it was relentlessly attacked by Japanese kamikaze aircraft. It should be reiterated that the USS America withstood nearly 4 weeks of attack and only succumbed to the ocean after demolition teams scuttled the ship on purpose once and for all. The carrier was clearly built to sustain heavy damage in combat and still remain afloat. As for the USS America's name, it was reborn with the amphibious assault ship, the USS America of the America class, which is already in its second design version.